Hey guys, it's Sasha and today I'm here with the Cigar and Whiskey Tag. This tag was created by Strip Cover Lit, aka Adrian and Dalton. So obviously I don't smoke cigars, but I got my paper one right here, and I don't drink whiskey. I didn't get no water or nothing like that. So let's get right into the questions. The first question is Jack Daniels, a classic that makes you feel both manly and philosophical at the same time. Now, I'm not sure if I should have changed it to womanly and philosophical at the same time or kept it the same. But you know what? I kept it the same. And I came up with Lord of the Flies by William Golding. And you know why I chose this book? I chose it because what is more manly than running around on an island where you have to survive, and more philosophical than a bunch of children trying to keep peace and society with each other instead of becoming savages and killing each other? What is more philosophical than that? Next question is, I wrote it down. Jim Beam, an underappreciated classic that always does the trick. And that for me would be, technically one book would be The Little House on the Prairie, but you know, I just love the whole series and I can't just pick one book out, so I'm just gonna say Little House on the Prairie series. I love it. It's a classic. I'm not sure if it's underappreciated, but it's definitely not talked about a lot, so I just really love it. It's one of the first books that got me into reading, and I will always read it. The next question is Old Crow, a book so gritty, so dirty, and so now that it makes you feel like vomiting. And I decided to go bad on this question, so I'm gonna choose a book that's really annoying to me. Or I should, but I'm gonna say why I chose it. Okay, let's define gritty. Gritty is consistent, containing or resembling grit or sand. Second thing is resolute, courageous, plucky. I'm gonna go with the first description and say the writing resembled sand. And if you know what sand is, like a whole bunch of little particles, while the writing, it just really didn't come together for me. So dirty because all the characters were not playing nice with each other. And so now, because the final book for this series just came out, and for that it is the selection series, I do have I don't know what they're called. But I'm not gonna say I hate this series, but for all the hype surrounding it, it is pretty bad. I am going to buy The Crown, though, the final book, because I do want to know what happens, but this series is, I would not recommend. My cousin is over there staring at me. I can't concentrate.
You're going to edit that real cool?
No, I might keep that one in there. Next question, Maker's Mark, a top shelf bourbon and cigar. What is a top shelf book that is also a delightful movie? And for that I am going with Pride and Prejudice, because I love the movie and I love the book, especially the annotated version. If you have not read this version, you should read it. It really goes into depth with the meaning behind everything, and you get to feel more like you are in that time period. It's you back and you really just experience it better. The next question is Factory Miles, terrible piece of literature that'll give you insta cancer, but you're pretty sure you'll read again. And the minute I heard him say insta cancer, the only book that came into my mind, I could not get it out, was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I don't really like John Green's writing. I did not like this book at all, especially when it first came out, all the hype that was surrounding it. I picked it up, I read it. I've actually read it twice. Once, my first initial time reading it, after that I really hated it. But the second time reading it, I read it just so I could get more into depth with why I hated it. I even marked like some of the pages I wrote in here a little bit, and it was just like, why? I've read Paper Towns by John Green, and I really didn't like that book either, but it wasn't as bad as The Fault in Our Stars. I might read some of his other books soon, but I'm not going to buy them because I don't like his plot styles, and I don't like his writing style at all. The next question, Switcher Sweets. A book that comes in a serious packaging, but once you crack it open, you can't stop laughing. But I'm gonna go with Tom Sawyer, and the reason for that is because if you are not really into reading and you have to, like, let's say read this for school, I probably already don't like reading, and on top of that, it's a boring classic. It comes in serious packaging, but this book is really funny. Tom is hilarious. I read this book, like, I'd say 3 to 5 times now, and it's really hilarious and funny. All the characters in here are delightful. It's definitely the book for this question. The Cuban. You're only allowed to recommend one book for the rest of your life. Which is it? And I had to go with Anne of Green Gables by Time. One of my favorite books, be in my heart. It's at my love. Is one of the first books I actually collected. I got it for my birthday. I must have been like around 10 or 11, I'm not quite sure. This book is really good, and I feel like once you would recommend this book, then they would go and read the rest of the books in the series, so I would just recommend the first book. But I really love Ellen Montgomery's writing, and I love all her books. So that is all for now. I'm going to be tagging anyone who wants to do this video, because I sort of have to go do something right now. So I'm going to be tagging anyone who wants to do this video. If you're interested, just go ahead and do it and say I tagged you, but don't forget to check out my BookLR and my Goodreads. It should be in the description down below. That's all for now. I'll catch y'all later. Bye!